Welcome to Crushing 1L, a podcast about Stockholm Syndrome. I mean, law school. I'm Abhi, a 1L at Penn Law, and that's Aaminah, a 1L at UCLA Law. Welcome back, Aaminah, as always.
Thanks, Abhi. Glad to be here. Mostly, I think. Unclear with the Stockholm Syndrome.
Super glad to be here. Yeah, it's fun. We're back, and we're like kind of back in class mode from break. And so I know everybody heard from us last week, and we had our fun little AI debate, but we were technically both still on winter break then, and now we're not. The school is in the middle of school. So how's it back? how's it feeling being back in school and your first week back?
Wow. So many emotions arising. It's like, whoa. I forgot what it was like. It almost felt like being in break, like law school almost felt like an alternate reality. Right? Because even to the point of like, I have my law school friends who I, adore. Love my law school friends. Love to hang out with them. But they left. They were gone from LA. Well, I was here over break because I'm, from here. And now they're all back. And it's like just a different side of me that I'm now re-engaging with, which is really interesting. Yeah. Lots of feelings about being back in the law school building specifically.
Yeah. And there's also something emotionally weird about like the first semester of 1L was like a very interesting feeling, and now we're past it and now we're back and it's like, oh, like school, it's school, we're back in school but without some of the emotional baggage that I think some of us had the first semester, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So it is weird, it's like being back, but you're missing something. Like I'm always like, oh, do I not have it's the sadness. It's kind of gone a little bit.
I would agree with that. Like there's a bit more like you have a bit more of a sure step in terms of like, even in this first week, I'm like, okay, like I already know, like I can see like some of the pitfalls that I immediately fell into in first semester. Then I'm like, oh, you're not catching me this time. Like I already know not to do that again. So like, it's definitely like, oh, the sadness has alleviated slightly. There's still sadness to be had.
There is still sadness to be had. Yeah. But like, it's like, we've been here before, right? Like we've done this before. We know what we're doing a little bit. It's the difference between like your first few weeks or months on the job versus coming back to work after the holidays and you've worked there for a while. And it's like, like I know this, I know my routines, I know how to do this. Okay, let's get back into it. So yeah, that's awesome. And then I think you have some stories that you want to share from the first week.
I have
some recruiting updates. People have asked. We love your comments, folks. And so yeah, people have asked like, hey, can you be a little bit more, not more transparent. We're incredibly transparent already, but like, yeah, people want to hear about the recruiting process. So what you got?
Yeah. So I think Abhi mentioned this last week that like for UCLA, I wouldn't say that we're on a slower timeline. Like, obviously, like we were doing recruiting opened up in November and all that stuff. Me personally, like I got more into it over winter break, and I'm now more into it. So, I actually recently went to like our Meet the Firms thing, which is like kind of our big, like, welcome back opener event. I thought that was super awesome. I felt like, especially like talking about the sadness of first semester, like the chaos of first semester, like having gone to that Meet the Firms event last week, I was like, whoa, like it's crazy how much I did not have the bandwidth, the mental space to deal with this in the first semester. Because like being there and like having these conversations with firms and like attorneys and all that stuff, I'm like, oh, like now I know what to do with this and like how to maneuver this, and like I can actually, this is a firm I'm actually interested in because of XYZ reasons. Which I think I mentioned, like I have an interest in entertainment law. Like I'm open to like kind of seeing where law school takes me. But right now, like in terms of just like starting on a path, what? Like why are you making that face?
You're gonna be like Jerry Maguire. It's so cool.
I don't think you know who that is.
Yeah. I'm gonna go jump off a parking deck. Jerry Maguire is an incredible movie starring Tom Cruise that is about a little bit about entertainment law and like being, an agent and working with people that need help with their contracts and stuff. Show me the money. Tom's on the phone with Cuba Gooding Jr. Show me the money. Anyway,
sorry, I'm just not as old as Abhi, so I can't like. There's a bit of a cultural gap between us, but neither nor there.
I'm quitting the podcast. It's
but
not even
no,
that old. It's not even that old of a movie. It's not even that old of a movie.
I don't know.
Worry
I'm
about
pretty
it.
sure I've
Anyway,
seen every movie ever since my time of existence, and I've never seen that one. So,
so sad.
and it,
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm derailing
yeah,
you.
but no, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Interested in
Um,
entertainment law. Recruiting's going well. Very cool.
yeah. But yeah, doing Meet the Firms this time around, I was like, okay, like I understand a bit more how to navigate this playing field and like how to like do so strategically in a way that's going to get me where I want to go. So that was like super awesome because I was not feeling that at all in the first semester. And like even this one firm that I'm like really, really interested in here in LA, like they only just opened their 2L applications, like literally the day after our Meet the Firms
Yeah.
event. So like I say that to say to those of you when you get into this part of your timeline in law school when you're doing this recruiting stuff and whatnot, like definitely I'm not going to underscore the importance of like early applications. I would never do that. And I encourage you to do that if you can, but also like if you can or if you don't, like I think like deep breath, like there is still a way forward for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm hoping there's
Especially, I
still a
think.
way forward for me. Yeah.
No, and especially if you're on the West Coast, I think. So first of all, like I was making fun of UCLA for being slow on the timeline, but like no, everybody's slower than Penn. Penn was the leader of the pack. We did our OCI in the first week of January this year, so all of us have already done OCI. We've already gone through the recruiting process, and the firms knew that we were first up on the OCI calendar. And also, well, actually, we weren't first. I think Yale was the week before us. But the firms kind of know that the schools have to coordinate, right? Because like, say Penn and UCLA had OCI the same week, it would be impossible, right? The firms wouldn't have enough people to like coordinate the interview. So there has to be an order. There has to be sequence. It's relatively arbitrary. We were just early this year, and y'all are in a few weeks. But going through the process here with some of my peers, some of my really good friends who want to work on the West Coast, they were very frustrated because the West Coast firms have not woken up yet from the holiday season. They're a little sleepy. And no, it's not sleepy. I'm just teasing. It's just a different timeline. It's just a different timeline. I think y'all just kind of y'all usually have a few more weeks to figure this stuff out. So if you're interested in working on the West Coast, do not worry. The timeline is just a different timeline. And then all the East Coast firms are freaking out because they're trying to catch up with all the East Coast schools because we're just all ahead over here. And so it's just the way it goes. But your school will make sure to communicate as early as your first semester. They will communicate like, hey, you have to start thinking about this stuff because Penn is a little bit earlier. So they encouraged us to go to the networking events in the fall. They encouraged us to consider. They didn't encourage, but they asked us to at least consider the direct applications, just because our timeline was so accelerated. So it ended up working out for a lot of us. We did a combo of like direct apps directly to the firm, and so we waited to see some firms at OCI, and they all kind of lined up, and everything worked out, and everybody's happy. But yeah, there's different timelines, different tempos, different styles. So, but don't worry, your Office of Career Strategy, when you get to law school, will start communicating about jobs like almost the second you walk through the door. It is one of the most important things that you have to do in your first year or two of law school is like figure out what kind of lawyer you want to be and where you want to work. It is a professional school, right? We think of law school as like this beautiful, like academic, ivory tower of whatever. But at the end of the day, brother, we're there to become lawyers and get a job and fucking, work as lawyers. So, yeah, it's interesting though. I'm glad that it's going well for you.
Yeah. I mean, more updates on how it actually ends, but yeah, like right now I'm getting more in the swing of things, and that has been interesting.
I'm excited to see where you end up. And folks, I'll be honest, we're probably not going to say the names of the firms that we are going to work at. Just to, we don't want to do that on the podcast, but you can always like email us and we can always discuss specifics with people if people have questions. But yeah, really excited to see where you end up at. And I mean, I already knows where I'm going this summer, but yeah, it's going to be really fun. I think you get to meet really cool attorneys, no matter what kind of firm you're interested in, whether you're interested in an organization that is like a nonprofit organization that does more of like a legal aid type thing. You're still going to meet those attorneys and you're still going to meet people in that organization. They're going to be awesome. Or if you're interested in a firm, you're going to meet the people in that organization and it's going to be awesome. The legal profession gets a lot of flack. There's a lot of really cool people holding down the fort. Like there's a lot of really passionate, really kind people that really just want to do a good job and they care about the people that they work with. So, an ounce of light in the darkness, that we get so much flack, dude. Like the legal profession gets so much flack. Well deserved, maybe in some instances for sure.
Yeah. And I'll say too on that, like in terms of like the light in the darkness, also and delayed timelines also, like public interest recruiting is also starting recruiting, but like, public interest stuff is also starting to pick up now as well, which especially like for 1L summer is something I'm also considering. I mean, as I've been branded many times by Abhi as a public interest person, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely not anti-public interest. I'll stand on that. And I do think it's an important, like, I do think it's important to like balance like this big law conversation. Like, yes, big law is a big conversation being had in law school, and it's like a big push that you will get from OCS and all that. But there is also like mid-sized firms that are not big law firms, but like still can place you well and like get you into the sectors that you're interested in learning about, or like plaintiff side firms also can give you access to good salaries without necessarily having to be a big law attorney. There's a lot. Like, sometimes I think really too, like if you just think about like what's the thing that I like to do, like there's an area of law in that thing, and you can go find it if that's what interests you. So yeah.
And look, I mean, we've talked about the bimodal distribution of salaries. Like, yeah, you're not gonna be making big law money if you work at a public interest organization, but you're gonna be okay. Like, it's overstated a little bit, like how tough the money is. It's a very normal salary. It may not be like a fancy corporate lawyer salary, but most salaries aren't that, right? Like by definition. So everybody's gonna be fine. People that go into public interest do fine, and they're happy and they're really fulfilled, and they can still pay their rent. Like it's all good. In fact, I mean, I think it's either going to be next week or the week after. We're going to have Beth on, and Beth Noble, awesome team member here at the Demon. She has done a lot of public interest internships and fellowships as a law student, and then she's actually she's not going into public interest, but she's going into a private criminal defense, which criminal defense is also really, really interesting. I'm really excited to learn more about that. So stay tuned in, folks. We're going to have an awesome guest here talking about, corporate law, entertainment law, and people are like, well, what if I want to be a criminal defense attorney? Well, we're going to have one on. And then
those are the three things that we can
Those are the three jobs. No, we've also had, Matt Dumont, who's works at the prosecutor's office. And we've also had Aaron Latridge, who, has juggled a few things, but has some experience with legal aid and has, some experience working in government as well. So we want to give you a breadth of the experiences so that you can make a more informed decision. That reminds me, I mean, we need to have Erin back on because she has much more experience with the legal aid organization now, so she can maybe come on and talk about legal aid.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you guys are watching it happen live. We're just coming up with this awesome list of guests for this coming semester, season 2. Really fun, dude. Really, really fun. Really glad to be back. I will say, and then this is kind of a formal transition segue to the second topic. I've forgotten how to read them.
I didn't forget how to read because I was reading a lot over break. However,
reading a novel. I also read a few books over break. And then I opened my admin law textbook and I was like, oh.
Yeah. My crim law class, I think I said, is technology free this semester. So that means I'm handwriting my notes. I mean, I guess theoretically, like I could type my notes and print them and bring them to class, but I'm not doing it. I'm handwriting my notes. For this class that we have on Tuesday, we had almost 100 pages of reading. Now, to be fair, our professor did say that was an abnormal amount of reading and that it would not typically be that dense, but like, it is so... all due respect to my professor, all due respect to... No, I actually won't even say it. I won't even say it. I will just say that it's been taking me a minute to get through this material because it really is testing my ability to concentrate in a serious way.
Yeah, and look, it's not a page turner, right? Like I reading like The Tainted Cup over break, it's like, oh, this is a fun book, and I want to keep reading it. I also started Red Rising, which is long overdue for me. I should have started a long time ago. But yeah, those books are fun. It's also fun. Like we're in some really cool classes. I think we're both in crim, we're both in con law,
yes,
and we're taking a few electives. These are fun, interesting classes. The way that case books are written is just not super conducive to reading or to making the reading interesting. So we're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, so we're both taking crim and con.
Yeah.
What's your
my two electives are admin law, administrative law, and I'm also taking intro to intellectual property.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I guess I have two electives, but not in that way. Like my two like classes that I have to take are con law and like legal research and writing. But then my elective class is crim, and then I'm taking an entertainment ethics class. Which, funny enough, the structure of our class is 1 hour of lecture and then 1 hour of guest speaker. And our guest speaker this week was Doug Emhoff, which for those of you who don't know, that is our former second gentleman.
Husband,
What are the second
second
husband?
gentleman. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which was so interesting. I was like, this is a very LA experience, I felt like.
Amina texted me a picture. She was like, "Guess who our guest speaker was?" And it was a picture of her standing next to her professor. I could tell it was her professor because he dressed like a professor. And then to me, a random middle-aged
Another
white
professor.
guy. Well, a truly random-looking middle-aged white guy in a polo and jeans. And I was like, "Brother, that could be anybody." I have no idea who the fuck that is. And she was like,
Yeah.
"It's Doug Emhoff." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool, man."
Yeah, I mean, he is a professor. He teaches at USC, but very prolific entertainment lawyer in addition to being the former second gentleman. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to hear kind of his pathway. Some of the things he said I had heard echoed by other prolific entertainment lawyers that I've spoken with through UCLA. A lot of it like kind of um how do I say it? Like say yes to things, like like say yes to new opportunities, say yes to things that you might not necessarily like want to, or you might
That's
not
good
think you have an
advice.
interest in. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it, but like he was saying, like how as like second gentleman, like he was like I could have like not really done anything. Like I was teaching at Georgetown, but I could have just kind of left it at that. But I decided to get involved and like take up talking to people about COVID and like going on international tours. And it got to the point where like because of like my lawyering skills, like I would integrate that into how I was maneuvering in the office of a second gentleman, and then like that ended up expanding the role of that office and so on and so forth. And to me, like again, like what I kind of took from that is like make the most of your situations and like really like say yes to these opportunities. Like, oh, like you need somebody to try this new thing, like sure, I'll try it. Like let me see what it's about. And like from that you might find things that interest you and things that you're really good at. And yeah, go down your paths in life.
That's really cool. Do you know? Are there any other big speakers that we should anticipate, or does your professor keep them a secret, or should we keep them a secret?
Big speakers. Was Doug Emhoff a big speaker to you? Because you did not seem very impressed.
Like okay. All love to former second gentleman Mr. Emhoff. Um, I don't know. I guess like if I want to hear losers talk, then come to
Whoa,
UCLA.
okay, hold on a minute. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm
I mean,
so
look, he
sorry.
needed to. All due respect, he needed to lock in a little bit. He was too busy eating sweet green in L.A. while his partner was losing the election, notably. So
Whoa, whoa,
why would I
whoa,
want to talk
whoa,
to
whoa,
second
whoa, whoa,
place?
whoa, 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 whoa.
Really tough. Actually, fourth place. He wasn't even anyway. Um, respectfully, respectfully.
No, I don't
Please
think
don't
that was
cancel.
fair.
Please don't
Actually,
cancel me. Please don't cancel me, Amina. Please don't cancel me.
no, I'm actually concerned about even being next to you while you're saying stuff
You're
like that.
now we're associated with it with that comment
Yeah,
forever.
because like, oh my God, what if I need to tap on Doug Emhoff and he's like, you let Abhi talk about me like that?
No,
Like,
you're defending him. I think you're doing a valiant job. Yeah, if you ever run for like LA City Council and you have to call Doug, he's gonna be like, "Whoa, you went on this podcast with 10 listeners and and let your co-host talk shit about me."
oh my God, our podcast does not have 10 listeners.
It does, but we love all 10 of them. We love them with all of our hearts.
No! This has
So
gotten
sad.
so far away from us.
So sad.
Doug, I appreciated you coming to talk. As an entertainment lawyer, I respect your career path. As second gentleman,
Less successful. Less successful. Um, no, that's really cool though. And I would love to hear more about his perspective on entertainment law.
too bad he's never going to talk to you. So,
That's okay. Are there any? So does your professor are they going to bring in like entertainment lawyers mostly?
I mean, well, yeah, it will be. I assume
Okay,
as much. It'll be a lot of people in the entertainment industry, probably a lot of entertainment lawyers. But
that's really cool.
yeah, I'm excited to see like what different speakers we have throughout the semester. I think it's really useful, obviously, to have access to these people and be like, what is this thing that I'm considering but not fully sure of, because entertainment is kind of an elusive legal industry. Yeah. So yeah.
And I think, and there's like a takeaway here hidden between all my like bullshitting, where like, you know, something actionable for the listeners to actually take away from this. Um, it matters where you go to law school for stuff like this. Like, if
Yeah.
you are interested in entertainment law, please consider UCLA and USC. Like, I go to school with people who are interested in entertainment law, and sure, like we're close to New York, and the New York entertainment law scene is pretty substantial as well. But I don't think we have like the kind of speakers like we just get a different kind of person. Like we get like a lot of like Wharton, you know, finance professors come talk to our like corporate classes and stuff. So there's advantages and disadvantages to being in certain physical locations. Like Penn and UCLA are both great law schools, but if I was interested in entertainment law, I think I would like you're having a great time with classes like these and seeing speakers like this, versus like if you're, I don't know what Penn is good at, but like I think we're good at business stuff. So I mean, we're good at everything. Come on, we're top 4 law school, top 5 law. Come on. But yeah, like yeah, it's just different. So consider, right, when people are picking law schools, like just think about what city you're going to be in and what kind of people are going to come hang out with you at law school. No, that's very cool. I'm really excited to learn vicariously through you some cool takeaways about entertainment law.
But yeah, that's classes so far. We're only 1 week in, so there's not a lot to report as of yet, but we are hitting the ground freaking sprinting. We're off to the races.
That's awesome. And I think we can hit the ground running a little bit because again, like we don't have, you know, the baggage of like what the heck is going on is a little bit it's a little bit lighter. So I do feel like we have more momentum going into this semester. I had a crazy wake up call yesterday where I had an assignment due yesterday, and it was the open memo that we wrote last fall. Are wonderful, dude. I love our legal research and writing class. If this is an ad for Penn, they are so devoted to our success. Over winter break, our professors and our TAs for our legal research and writing class read our open memos line by line, cover to cover, and they gave us the most detailed feedback in the Word document, like using, you know, track changes, and like they just tore it up and they returned it to us, and it's one of the most amazingly edited documents of my life. And of course, like there were some comments in there like, hey, like this, you know, XYZ is wrong. Fix this. And then we had a rewrite due yesterday that was like, hey, like fix this section.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that one of my first law school assignments back from winter break was I had to open Westlaw and re-research a section of my memo that I wrote 3 months ago. I was like,
that's brutal.
I did not feel the momentum there. I mean, let me tell you that right now. I was like, whoa, I'm going slow. I was like writing the slowest I've ever written. I was doing research, the slowest I've ever done it. Yeah, but it was really cool. It was kind of a wake up call of like, all right, brother, like let's just fucking get back in this, you know? Like there's, if not us, then who? If not now, then when?
Yeah, don't drink the Kool-Aid, my friend.
Hua.
That's lemon.
Yeah.
Anyway. Sorry, those are song lyrics, and I digress. Good luck to you with that. I mean, at least your memo's not graded. So. Yeah, I mean, at least it's not graded. Like, imagine if it was graded. Well,
but again, I emphasize that I think because it's not graded, I actually care. I'm not doing it just to get a good grade. I actually care about the quality of the writing improving, which is which is stressful.
But it's important, like, and it can improve in like a way where it's like you can just learn.
Yes. So
this is on my freaking like docket of things I need to petition for changing. I cannot stand this graded memo.
Doug, I have some ideas.
Doug, let's get to work.
Some ideas. Let's get to work. Let's make UCLA great again.
Okay. All right. All right.
Too far. So sad. Okay, let's do some listener questions, Mina, before I actually get this podcast canceled on episode 2 of season 2. That would be so sad. Look, if you don't like the weird, you know, the off-color humor, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Amina's can be your favorite character. I could be your least favorite. I don't care. We have some great listener questions. I regret. Do you want to read this one? I mean, I don't want to read this. I don't
Uh, okay. So we have our like returning our I guess our 10 listeners. Hi guys. Welcome back.
We
Welcome
love
to
you.
season 2. I hope you're enjoying
To
it.
be clear, I'm
Um
not against reading the listener comments. I'm against the content of these messages because they're way too favorable to your side.
you know when you're right, you're right. But we have Bioke who says, I'm team AI, but Amina almost convinced me to switch. It's what I do. I'll work harder next time. You will become anti-AI. That's my mission. No,
Honestly,
but
you kind of almost like you convinced me. I think you won the debate. Like I will concede that you won the debate.
thank you.
I think the problem is though that like we can't simply just say, well, okay, well, not using AI, right? Like
I
that's
know, I
like
know. That's the worst part, right? It's like as much as I'm like again, like I really as I've mentioned and emphasized, like cannot underscore enough the importance of the detrimental impact of AI. I also fully acknowledge that it is 100% something I will have to engage in big
unfortunately
law if that's where I'm going. I mean, probably in any legal profession, like it will be there
it
and
will.
it will need to be used and it will be to your advantage to be adept at using those tools. In any case,
Maybe Amina's just better at debating than I am. She's convinced me. Now she's convinced me the other
oh.
way. Goodness gracious.
Well, yeah, but Björk also asked, and Abby, this is a question for you. Do you have any insight if the Crushing 1L classes will be making a return to the demon?
You know, Bjork, that's such a great question. I think that the answer to your question is nuanced. I think that it a little bit depends on demand, right? We did we released like the test classes this last fall, and a few people came to them, and it was awesome. And the attorneys that we had on board, they loved it. They loved teaching the classes. They love working with students, and the students really enjoyed it. We're still kind of working out the kinks on Crushing 1L. So we actually just over this last week we finally have like a crushing 1L plan. So if you're a demon student that's already found success on the LSAT and you're thinking of like, oh, cool, like I can cancel my subscription, I encourage you check out like staying, but just as a crushing 1L student, the price is lower than a live sub or whatever. I think it's $95 a month, but it's going to give you access to the recorded content, the lessons, everything that we already have, and would give you access to the classes whenever they return. But you can stay a crushing 1L student on the demon without paying for Law Hub. So if your Law Hub is expiring, we like unconnected the LSAT stuff from the crushing 1L stuff. So very cool advancements on the back end for us. I was very excited about those. But to your question, Bjork, I don't know. I don't really know. I think the summer, like I think we would love to bring the classes back over the summer. I think what we found is that law students during the year are they have enough classes, right? Like we are spending enough time going to class in person and then doing the work every night to do the work the next day. I think what the classes are really going to be helpful for is one, over the summer for 0Ls getting ahead for their 1L content, or for any kind of law student who just wants to revisit or brush up, maybe for bar prep or something. So over the summer, I think is going to be our best, most winningest time to bring live classes back for Question 1L. I would love to also bring a study hour, like a study hall type of class for during the semester. Again, I don't think from our experience, like I don't think we want to go to extra classes. I would love just picking the brain of like an awesome attorney who like knows torts better than me, right? I would have loved this last semester. I could just like go to a study hall and be like, hey, so like let's talk about proximate cause, and that would have been great. And so those are going to happen at a little bit lower frequency. Those are going to be aimed at 1Ls and 2Ls. So keep an eye out for those. But for 0Ls, this summer is the goal. And now that it's out in the universe, you can hold me to it. But I think that's going to be the way that we find the most success with the C1L classes. But very excited to bring those back for you.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, and then Tialan, glad you're back. Glad you're back listening to us.
Glad you're back, Tialan.
We're glad to be here. And then Ali, hello. Ali was obsessed with how much I destroyed you on the pro AI side of our debate.
Yeah. Obsessed, all caps, with how much Aaminah undeniably destroyed the pro AI side. Really, Ali? Is it undeniable? We can't even deny it a little bit. I deny it.
Not even a little bit.
I deny that you destroyed us. No, you won, dude. You won. I won't be a sore loser. I respect you as a professional and as a debater, and I think you did destroy the pro AI side. So.
Thank you. I honestly thought you were going to put up more of a fight, and like I was listening back to our
It
conversation, and
was
it was just
very,
like
you were very convincing. You were very
you're like,
convincing.
I don't really have a good response to that. I'm like, well, damn.
I don't, because like, look, we had a little bit of back and forth, but like at the end of the day, you're right. Like, I think, not to rehash this fucking thing again, but okay, one of the biggest benefits of AI is that they make people more efficient and they can help you start something. But the importance, the mental work of starting something is the work. And for law students and lawyers, like, come on, dude, that's our bread and butter. So I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys again for listening. Yeah, if you want those Crushing 1L classes over the summer, leave a comment. I'll be able to release one attorney from the basement for every comment that you leave.
Yeah,
So
they're locked up in the bike storage of my apartment building. They keep asking for fast casual Mexican food. I can't afford to feed them any longer, so we might have to release them. But yes, leave a comment. So this is the best way to see change in real life, right? We really value feedback. So like if you guys are Demon students, which I assume some of you have to be, like leave the feedback through whatever feedback mechanism, like a class review or something, where it's like, hey, bring back Crushing 1L classes, bring back Crushing 1L classes. That demand will be seen by everybody on the team, or leave comments in Spotify if you're listening to it on Spotify, on YouTube if you're listening to this on YouTube, or wherever the hell you're listening to it. Leave a comment or write in. If we can just accumulate more feedback and I can show the demand, I think I'll have an easier time bringing the classes back. And same goes for the attorney interviews. Like if you want more attorneys and you want people who cover different topics or different fields or different practice areas, let us know, leave a comment, write in. That'll help us kind of tailor who to bring on. We do have a couple plans to bring on more diverse like practice areas and stuff, but there's practice areas that I'm still learning about. Like if you want to learn about a niche practice area, let us know. We'll find somebody associated with the demon to come talk about it. So we love your comments. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for commenting and engaging. And yeah, let us know what you want to see.
yeah. Okay. I think that's that for our listener comments.
I think it is.
So segue current events.
Segue current events. There's a new law school, Aaminah.
There's a new law school, Abhi. Welcome to the new law school. What is this new law
Welcome,
school?
Elon Musk University. Did I read that right?
No way.
Wow.
Is that actually?
I'm making a few too many. I'm making like a few too many like like now, people are gonna listen to this and be like, Abhi, are you? And I'm gonna be like, whoa. These are jokes. These are jokes. No, it's Elon University. It's Elon University in North Carolina. Actually, a fairly well-known university in North Carolina. As somebody who lived in North Carolina for a few years, it is one of the schools down there. They made a law school. They made a law school. When a university and a college love each other very much.
Oh my gosh, they make a law school?
They make a law school.
I was going to ask, like, how does a law school get made?
How does a law school get made? Yeah. When a university who wants money and a college administration that wants more money too love each other very much, they make a law school.
Wow.
This is the first new law school in a few years.
Wow.
This is actually kind of rare. Like law schools don't just come into being very often.
Yeah, there's a lot of animosity between universities and colleges, so it's like, a love match is really a hard find.
Right, yeah. It's going to be the 197th approved law school program and like ABA accredited law school in the nation.
Wow.
Which like that is kind of a lot. Like we probably don't need 197 law schools, but in the grand scheme of things, yeah,
free market,
options,
capitalism, so
exactly.
on and so forth.
You're speaking my language, man. You're speaking my language. God, the title of this episode is going to be, is Abhi a closet conservative? That's fine. That's fine. Yes, the answer is yes. If this law school happens, which it is, like they got ABA accreditation, they have plans to build to they have the building permits and stuff. It's going to open in Charlotte in 2027. So Elon University is not in Charlotte, but it makes sense that if you're going to add a law school to a place, put it in a big city. Kind of like how Northwestern's law school isn't in Evanston, it's in Chicago.
Yeah.
Because that's where like law students need to be near other stuff. It's very cool. It's 2027. The last law school that came into existence was the Wilmington University of Law, and that opened its doors in Delaware in 2023.
Wow.
So
cool. All right. Well, welcome to Elon. Can't wait a couple years out to see. Well, hey, not I. I was listening to If Books Could Kill. They were reading through Elon Musk's like autobiography, or they were like doing their episode on it.
He has an autobiography?
well, whatever. I don't really know.
That's cool.
He has a book about him. Like somebody wrote it about him. So not an autobiography. That's my
A
bad.
biography. No, I
A
did. No, I didn't know.
biography.
I didn't even know he had a biography. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
making a semantics question. It was a genuine question. Like, whoa, I didn't know there's a book about him. Add it
yeah.
to the
Well,
TBR, baby.
so they were talking about it, and legitimately, like, it reminded me of like listening to his backstory and his upbringing and all this stuff, like the way he thinks, the way he talks, the way they were talking about it reminded me of like the true crime podcast I listened to, where they talk about like how a serial killer like becomes the person that they are. Where it's like when they were a kid, like they had these bad experiences and they were bullied and their parents did this and they were dropped on their head and yada yada. Like legitimately, like the one-to-one between like last podcast on the last episodes and if books could kill episodes.
Yeah.
There were parallels, y'all. I'm just saying.
Also, huge fan of If Books Could Kill. If either of those two people want to come on the podcast, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, come on.
I know
I know you're listening.
I know you're listening. I know the If Books Could Kill guys are listening.
I know you're listening.
And also 5-4, big fan of 5-4. If the 5-4 folks want to come on, we'd love to have you. I know
Or
you're
if you
listening.
want us on, yeah, we'll
If
come.
you want us on 5-4, if you want two law students who don't know much about the law, but enough to be dangerous.
We're doing
If you
con
want
law
us
now,
on.
so like bring us in.
We're doing con law. If you want an update from law students, boots on the ground, we can give it to you. We can
We'll
give
be
it to you.
there. We'll be
We'll
there.
be there. That's awesome. That's fun. That's so sad. Also, so sad.
Yeah, but Elon University, unaffiliated. Welcome to the fold.
Welcome to the fold. Segue. Aaminah, you've been doing reading, and I need to catch up on reading. You have a couple of wows, legal words of the week for us.
I do. So my first one comes from Crim. I got one from each of my doctrinals this week. So the first one comes from Crim, and it's a word that I always struggle to pronounce. But it is, I'm gonna read it, bear with me. Retributivism?
Retributivism. It's all about the momentum. You have to lean, you have to let the word roll down the word. Retributivism.
Yeah. Okay, retributivism. And that is, so it's a legal theory of the justification for punishment. And essentially the idea is that punishment is justified because the offender deserves to be punished and only because the offender deserves to be punished. I mean, there's obviously a lot of nuances in that, but like it's in contrast to the theory of utilitarianism, where it's like we punish people because we want to deter future crimes and we want to, whatever, like we're doing it for their good, for the prevention of future crime, so on and so forth. Retributivism is more about we're punishing the crime because of its moral blameworthiness and because it deserves to be punished, regardless of its, preventative effect or whatever. So that's our Lowell number one.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, like the pillars of justice, right? Like there's a few different views on how to achieve justice for not only the victim of a crime, but the community as a victim of a crime. And I think if I mean, I don't know a ton about it. I'm also learning about it actively, but I think retributivism can sound really harsh, and it is in a lot of ways. It really is. It's also motivated, I think, just by emotion. Like when a family or a victim is wronged, they have a very like human emotion of like, well, you hurt me, so I want to hurt you, and that's kind of there's an intuitive, now whether it's rational or not, and it is a bit irrational, but there's an emotional aspect of justice for victims that the theory tries to account for. Very interesting stuff. I think criminal law is going to be really, really interesting this year.
I concur. I'm excited to get deeper into it. And then the second word or the second term comes from con law. This is a case that everybody starts with. It's a very famous con law case. It establishes the principle of judicial review, but that is not the word for this week. The term for this week is writ of mandamus, which essentially is just an order by the court for a government official to do something. So in this case, like in Marbury v. Madison, Thomas Jefferson was like, I'm not gonna give the commissions to these judges that were appointed by John Adams, like, screw y'all. And the court was like, no, you can't do that, like, you do need to pay them, so sorry. And like the request in that case was a writ of mandamus to force them to pay the commissions. So
wow.
mandamus, that's our second
making
term.
the government do stuff.
Yeah.
Impossible.
unless
you obtain a writ of mandamus. I think that just goes to show, like, hey, courts are pretty powerful, and that seems like a dumb thing to say in 2026, but like, courts are really powerful. They can issue writs like this, and force people to do things, whether
Yeah.
they're government officials or private citizens or whatever. So yeah, it's really, really cool. I mean, we're so lucky. We just do we have such a cool thing. Law school's so
Yeah.
cool. I love it.
I can tell.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's just so interesting. Like, courts are really interesting. I think that working as attorneys within the system and, trying to wrap our heads around all of the different philosophies and the justifications and principles and trying to balance everything, like balance the academic with the real world. And of course, we want things to be a certain way, but they are a certain way, and that those things
Yeah.
might be different from each other, and they actually impact people in real life, and people disagree about how that works too. I am just really excited to be a lawyer. It's just very, very
Yeah.
cool. I feel like we're doing a really cool thing.
Yeah. Definitely agree with that. Yeah. But that's it for our luau's for this week. Those are my
Hell yeah.
terms. Well, hopefully you'll have something by next week. I think you're getting back into your classes.
If I
Yeah.
remember how to read, then I will definitely have a luau for
That
you
would be
next week.
huge. That would be
Would be
huge.
would be huge.
Okay. And then for this week's legal drama review, I'm back at school. I'm not watching shows. But I am reading. I am reading. As you may recall, I did restart the Demon Lit Lounge, our book club with lsatdemon on Discord.
Huge.
Yeah, our first meeting, you'll be listening to this on Thursday. It's going to be, well, not our first meeting, but this first meeting back is going to be on Sunday, January 25th, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out with me. You can actually talk to me, look at me face to face. I'm better in person. Not that you'll ever know that, but no, but yeah,
Could go
come hang
either
out with
way.
me. Come hang out with me. We're going to be talking about Piranesi, and then on the legal drama review for the future, the next book we're going to read, I'm going to make y'all read what I'm reading, suckers. But I'm reading this book called
Power
Chill Out.
power corrupts, Aaminah, and absolute power
Yeah,
corrupts absolutely.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you have let it get to go to your head.
100%. But we're going to be reading this book called The Jailhouse Lawyer by Calvin Duncan and Sophie Cole. I'm dropping this also for the people who are in the book club because I haven't mentioned this yet, but this is, exclusive information. Super duper interesting. This book is basically about this guy, Calvin Duncan, who was an inmate. And speaking of people learning how to read, like actually having to learn how to read, like Calvin had to teach himself how to read and then had to teach himself how to read the law and interpret the law. And like his first like motion he was mentioning, it was like a motion for a law book because he needed like the penal codes to be able to understand like how to, maneuver some stuff in his case. So it's super fascinating read. Like this one is definitely a page turner. Sorry to my criminal case book, but love this book. So excited to discuss it with you guys in February. But again, for this month, January, we're going to be talking about Piranesi, which is not legal at all.
That's really cool. Damn, now I got to read Jailhouse Lawyer. You sold it, dude. You're persuasive. You're a very persuasive person. Hell
Thanks.
yeah.
I think I'm going to need that. So
Yeah. And I'm sure that people are listening to this like, what the hell is Discord? And also how do I get to the Demon
oh,
Discord? So
yeah.
what's really cool, folks, is that any Demon student, including people with a free plan, can access the Demon Discord. So come join the community. It's just a place where people can talk about the LSAT and talk about law school and talk about everything that we talk about here. You can do in the community. If you go to your Demon dashboard, if you scroll all the way down where there's the links to the resources and stuff, so like on the left, bottom left, there's like the scholarship estimator, the score converter, etc. On the right, the bottom right of your dashboard, there should be a link. It says join our Discord. If you haven't joined before, you can just click that. And there's a different way. If you've already joined the Discord, there's a link to the Discord. If you just click on your review inbox, I don't know why it's in the review inbox, but that's just where the link lives right now. If you click on your little review inbox icon, there's a link to the Discord. So you can access that whether you're on the dashboard or not. It's just always on the left side on the menu. So there's a couple ways to get to our Discord. Once you're in, dude. Like it's you're in there for life. We're never gonna gatekeep that. Of course, there are like certain rooms and certain AMAs and stuff that you can only access if you have a paid account. But get in there whether you have a paid or free account. Join the freaking Demon Book Club.
Totally free.
Totally free, and Aaminah's awesome, and she's a great discussion leader, and we've read some really cool books with the book club.
Yeah.
So,
and also another way to get to the Discord too is just lsat.link/Discord. Put that in the browser.
whoa, that's so cool, actually.
Hot tip.
Could you say that one more time? What is it?
It's lsat.link/Discord. // I don't know, /Discord.
The normal the link
the / I don't know, whichever direction
that's
the one that goes
/ Discord. I didn't know that. I have not memorized that, and I will be saying that more often. Now I will say this podcast is going to come out on Thursday, and so the book club is going to meet 3 days after on the Sunday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so if you're not able to read Piranesi in 3 days, which honestly you might be, because it is a page turner. Do you know when the next meeting might be so that people can keep that on the calendar?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tend to do them cyclically. So what is this, the fourth Sunday in
I think it's going to be
January?
the second to last Sunday in...
Yeah.
No, it's going to be the last Sunday in January. So maybe the last Sunday in February?
Yeah, probably the last Sunday in February will be
the
next book club.
Jail Hustler. Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that or like 30 days, somewhere in that like range.
Got it. Oh, because February is a little baby month.
Mm-hmm.
So sad. We're definitely gonna, Aaminah, if you don't mind, I would love to do like a book club shout out every episode, so that people can keep the book club on their calendar, and that way we can keep up with the books that we're reading.
Sure. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's all we got though, dude.
I think that's all we've got for today. That's all I've got. I've given everything.
I've given you everything. I've left it all on the field. I don't have an ounce of energy or thought left in my body. Well, that was a weird way to end it, but that's it for and also shout out to Amanda and Josh and our awesome production team for keeping us on the air and not firing us.
Love.
Cool. That's it for this episode of Crushing 1L. If you enjoyed this episode, you know it. You love it. Please subscribe, leave a review, or even better, share it with someone in your life that may be thinking about law school. We might be able to talk them out of it. Just kidding. It's so fun. If you have a question, please just leave a comment in Spotify or YouTube or wherever you're listening to this. But if you're listening to it in a weird place that doesn't let you leave comments, you can always write into the pod at podcast@crushing1l.com, or you can go to crushing1l.com. That's crushing the number 1 and the letter L.com. And that's for sure all we have. That's Aaminah. I'm Abhi. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep crushing.